Major development in Western North Carolina today in an area that does not need to see pictures like this because it is way too reminiscent of some of the pictures we saw after Helene. But this is video right there at the North Carolina and Tennessee state line on I-40. A thunderstorm dumping 2 inches of flash flooding rain in the course of about half an hour, causing a mudslide. And so at this hour, I-40 is closed. You'll probably remember that we've only had one lane open in each direction, and that is only going back about a month or so because the interstate was heavily damaged during Helene. Well, that interstate is closed again tonight because here's a still picture. You can see we had cars stuck in the water. We had debris flow. I'm looking at what looks like trees, guys, right here at the state line. Exit 451, I think, might be the first exit on the Tennessee line. They have been working to get all these vehicles out of there, but right now I-40 remains closed at the North Carolina and Tennessee state line. And you can just see in some of this eyewitness video the way the water is coming rushing down the terrain. Frank, I know you went up to Asheville and shared with our audience on here on the Carolina Weather Group a couple weeks back. I met with a lot of scientists who discussed a lot of things, but I think things like this, landslides and the way the water flows down the terrain. I mean, this could almost look like video from Helene if we weren't telling you that the video is from today.
But yeah, this is a problem you're going to have when you're building roads through the mountains like this. The water is going to flow sometimes in ways that are hard to predict, and if you don't get it exactly right the first time, then you're going to have stuff like this happen. Or if the drainage that you built in, thinking that you did cover it all, and maybe you did, maybe what you built just gets overwhelmed, and you end up with a situation like this. So it's unfortunately just what you have to deal with in the mountain when you build roads through the mountains. And this isn't it. It's not just water running off the land. Sometimes the whole land surface, the whole hillside comes down onto the road that you built, and that's one of the things that could have happened in this situation. It didn't, but when you loosen the soil by putting so much water into it, that runs the risk of coming loose, and you get a landslide that also can shut your roads down and maybe take out a home or two along the way, sometimes even people in it.
Yeah, we know from radar estimates that this was highly localized, and we can show you here on radar scope what the radar was estimating the rainfall amounts to be. But you can see right here, that red area, if you're watching with us on Facebook or YouTube, that is about 2.5 inches of rain, and I-40 is right in the middle of that. So if you're listening on our audio podcast, we're looking at a relatively small area of the country, of this region that was impacted, but that heaviest rainfall was right there on the interstate. And even if it wasn't, the way the terrain flows down towards the interstate, you said overwhelmed, Frank, and I think that was a key word. I think that's exactly what happened here.
And that was 2.5 inches in an hour, right? You had that.
I think it was 2 inches in half an hour. Yeah,
I don't think there's any modeling that can necessarily get you out of that.
15 minutes. That's an inch in about 10 minutes.
That is like a week's worth of rain.
Yeah,
blink of an eye.
That's the gully washer, to say the least.
Yeah. So if you are traveling through this region, you're going to need to once again find an alternative route. And I will admit that I'm sure those sentences and these pictures bring back unwanted memories less than a year after Helene, because I will tell you, just looking at these pictures, I'm like, if I didn't know any better, that could have been 10 months ago.
I think my first reaction, James, when I heard that I-40 was closed, I was like, oh God, not again.